Cheer. You guys are now listening to the Mr. Sanchez Show. I'm your host, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to do a little thing different today. We're going to do a little solo action. I still got my man, Young Glizzy, behind the board. Say what up, Young Glizzy.
Yeah.
He's going to be helping me out. You know what I'm saying? Just give you guys a little one-on-one action. How you guys doing? I've been good, man. My week was good. You know what I mean? Stayed training, dude. Today I did shoulders and traps at the gym. Been going consistently every day. I've been feeling real good, great. Dude, dropped like 7 pounds in like 2 weeks, running and lifting and staying sober. You know what I'm saying? Not that I have a problem with sobriety. It's just healthier for me to stay sober. I'm still going to Vegas like next week. I'm going to be doing my thing there. I feel like I could still enjoy alcohol, you know what I'm saying, in a social environment and stuff like that. Just, you know, everything in excess is kind of bad. You know what I mean? Also in other news, you know what I'm saying, in personal news, my neighbor killed a guy, dude. Yeah, he did. He used to be your neighbor too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dude, I was watching the news and it said that there was like a shooting at my local gas station. So I'm watching the news and I see the guy's posture and what he's wearing, right? And he's wearing like a construction outfit, but my neighbor wears the same construction outfit. You know what I'm saying? And he has the same body structure. So I'm like, yo, that looks like my neighbor, right? So then I'm looking, I see the video. You know, he's like arguing with a dude at the gas station, and he has a gun in his hand, and the guy pushes him, and he just backs up and claps him. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn. But then he took off on his car, got into a chase. They pulled him over a couple blocks, and that's when I saw the helicopter on top of his car, and I noticed his car because I park next to that car every day. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, bro, that sucks, you know? I know, you know, he is a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kids in the neighborhood love him.
Some people, I guess, just get pushed over the edge, dude.
Yeah, but it's crazy how a moment like that can just change your life so fast, you know? I mean, we've all been there. We all get into confrontations with other men, and you never know where it's going to go, man. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why it's better, bro, sometimes just walk away, you know? Especially if you got a family and kids and you like being free. You know what I'm saying? I could take my own advice on that. But it was, yeah, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
You could lose it all in a couple seconds, bro. So, you know, R.I.P. to the dude who lost his life. And, you know, I hope everything works out. Moving on, William Levy. You know who William Levy is, Glizzy?
No.
William Levy is like a Hispanic. His name is William Gutierrez Levy. And he started out like in Spanish novellas, and then he was like on Resident Evil, the movie, and, you know, no homo. He's a handsome fella. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
And he got arrested for being drunk at an Argentinian steakhouse up in Broward County. You know what I mean? He got drunk and he was asked to leave, and he refused to leave. So they called the police on him, and he got charged with disorderly conduct, drunk and disorderly, and not leaving a place that you're being asked to leave. You know what I mean? As somebody who professionally kicks people out of bars and restaurants and nightclubs, dude, when security or anybody asks you to leave, dude, just leave peacefully. I know I know people are drunk and people have egos and people want to cause a scene, but two things are going to happen, bro. You're either going to get physically removed and embarrassed in front of everybody, or they're going to call the cops on you. You're going to go to jail. You're going to get trespassed from the place. You know what I mean? And there's a camera everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of time before the camera comes out of this guy acting a fool. This shit's going to cost him millions of dollars because his reputation is going to be messed up. And it serves him right, because my mom is always talking about how handsome he is. And my girl is always talking about how handsome he is. So now I like to see his face drunk on the mugshot having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Fuck William Levy, yo. Nah. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. I don't like to see my fellow Hispanics going through it like that. You know what I mean? But, yeah, you know. My mom was always, like, talking about Luis Miguel. She used to make me jealous when I was a little kid about how handsome he was. And she made a couple comments about William Levy. Like, my mom is, like, one of those people that could get me jealous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, my girl, not so much. You know what I'm saying? She tells me she likes Levy. I'm like, all right, whatever. Every girl likes William Levy. Whatever. I don't get that jealous, but when my mom says it, I'm like, I don't know.
How dare you?
It hits me different. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I'm just more protective over her. I don't know. UFC Miami was in town this weekend. Did you catch any of the fights, Young Glizzy?
No, I did not, dude. I was working, dude. That sucks.
Oh man, well it was a pretty good card. I tried to go. You know what I'm saying? My brother wanted me to go. He was trying to talk me into it, bro. They wanted $800 for the tickets, bro. You know what I'm saying? $800 for the tickets. And then right before the event, they cut them in half to $400. So if you guys ever want to go to a UFC event in your hometown, wait until the last minute and then buy the tickets, because they go down by 50% if the house doesn't sell out. Now, if the house sells out, you're going to be out of gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I guess for like a main card fight, like someone big, that would be it'd be kind of hard to get the ticket.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so some of the memorable fights on the card were Gene Silva and Bryce Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? I was going for my man Bryce. You know what I'm saying? He was calling Gene Silva a demon. You know what I'm saying? And I understand why he says that, because Gene Silva has this thing where, like, when he wins a fight, he puts his arms on the cage and his feet, and he screeches like a demon. And it does kind of look like that. You know what I'm saying? And then when he knocks people out, he hovers over them and he barks at them like a pit bull. He goes, "Arr, arr." You know what I'm saying? And Bryce thinks the earth is flat, and you know what I'm saying? He says a lot of wild stuff, but he does believe in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bryce Mitchell for that. I was going for him, but I mean, he was just outmatched, dude. That Gene Silva dude was just fast, strong, explosive, and he fucked Bryce up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy that Bryce is okay. He got choked out in a pretty nasty, like, reverse choke, and he got put to sleep, like, 100%. It wasn't, he tapped, and then he was out. Like, when Gene Silva let him go, his eyes rolled behind his head, and, you know what I'm saying? He was messed up. What else? Dominic Reyes, he defeated Nikita Krylov by KO in the first round, and that was pretty dope. You know, he's like one of the guys who a lot of people say beat John Jones. You know what I mean? A lot of people say he won that fight. That's up to you to decide. Officially, John Jones won that fight. But what was cool, he knocked Buddy out in the first round, and then he jumped over the fence. He said hi to Trump, which was dope. The whole cabinet was there. I saw Trump. I saw the vice president. I saw Marco Rubio. I saw Tulsi Gabbard. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember if I saw Elon or not, but everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? It looked dope. Looked like a dope card. Who else? I know. Did Patty Pimblett fight? Yeah, Patty Pimblett defeated Michael Chandler by TKO, and then that was a good fight. Patty looked really good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Patty does it, dude. Patty blows up, gets super fat on the off time, like obesely fat. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets into training camp, and he sheds all that weight and gets completely shredded, and he comes in strong. I don't know. I guess some people are just built like that. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, man, he won in the third round by TKO, and it was dope. I'm a fan of Patty Pimblett. I think Michael Chandler is over the hill. You know what I'm saying? And in the main card, you had Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez, which was a great fight. You know what I'm saying? It went all the way to decision, but it was action-packed from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? Volk was, I believe he was the weaker man out of the two, but he used his footwork, you know what I'm saying, to circle him and counterpunch, and I think he won the fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were like, he's going to have to retire afterwards or whatnot, but he looked great. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the UFC. I heard Dana White is going to be leaving. I heard he's going to link up with some Saudi Arabians, and they're going to go into boxing full-time. He's going to resign from the UFC. I hope that doesn't happen, because I feel like the UFC is going to become some woke bullshit thing. You know what I'm saying? Once the big sponsors get in and they start telling people what to say and what not to say, it's going to go soft. That's what I'm scared of. You know what I mean? Let's see, moving on the podcast topics. We got this dude, Kilmar Abrego, right? This guy is causing a lot of controversy in the country. People don't understand what's going on here. The media is making it sound like he was an American citizen who got deported by mistake. That's not the case, dude. He's not an American citizen. He is a citizen of El Salvador. And his situation goes like this, if you guys don't understand. In 2019, he was arrested outside of a Home Depot, you know what I'm saying, looking for work, I guess, immigration they got a tip from an informant that he was an active MS-13 member and he was illegally in the country. So they came and they picked him up, right? When he gets released, you know what I'm saying? When he gets released from detention, his wife picks him up and they start filing papers to stop deportation and to get married, and she gets pregnant, you know what I'm saying? But he never becomes an American citizen, you know what I mean? Now, he filed for political asylum, right, under the guise that he was a part of a gang in El Salvador, and he became a snitch to them, allegedly, from what I read, you know what I'm saying? And they were trying to kill him over there. The gang was trying to kill him. So he fled the country so he wouldn't be killed. So he's actively admitting he was part of a gang. Whether he claims that gang today or not, I don't know. But she files the paperwork to get him to stay, right? A judge grants the paperwork not for him to get a court date, right? So his papers have not gone through. The administration or ICE finds out who the guy is. Is he illegally in the country? Yes. Is he a gang member? Yes. He's got to go. You know what I'm saying? Dude didn't commit any crimes over here besides entering the country illegally, which is a crime. But I'm talking about like a violent crime he didn't do here. But he did come in illegally, which is a crime in itself, right? So, boom, they pick him up and they take him out. Now, this goes against the judge's orders because he still had a court date. So the judge demands that he get extradited back to the United States to see his court date, right? But the president of El Salvador refused to let him come back because they say that he's an El Salvadorian citizen, not a U.S. citizen, and they're not going to send him back. Right now, he's in an El Salvadorian prison. You know what I mean? And the left and the fake news make it seem like we are deporting people, American citizens, to El Salvador by mistake. It was an error. You know, they might pick you up and take you over there. That's what they're making it seem like, but that's not it. Now, Bukele was at the White House. They had a meeting, you know what I'm saying? And Trump was saying, you know, some homegrown terrorists, he wants to send them to El Salvador prison. And people freak out about that, you know what I'm saying? Because they're saying, oh, it's the same thing. Trump wants to send American citizens to El Salvador. And yes, he did say that, if you look at it in that context, right? But this has been going on way before Trump, right? Anybody ever heard of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba? That's a prison in Cuba that right now has 15 American citizens in it. And when you are a terrorist or you can't be housed in the United States because you're too high profile or something like that, they'll send you to Guantanamo Bay. But, you know, things are hot around the country with all these countries. So maybe Trump doesn't necessarily want to send people to Guantanamo Bay because he doesn't trust the Cubans anymore. Or from what I also read, Guantanamo Bay doesn't want any more prisoners. You know what I'm saying? So he's making a deal with Bukele to send them over there. It's not that he's going to send, I mean, technically, yes, if you do something heinous in this country, like, you know, Timothy McVeigh, you do a bombing, you do like the shooting in Las Vegas, they want to send you out. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not completely against that. You know what I mean? Tell me how you guys feel about it, bro. All right, now here's a big story that I waited a long time to talk about because it has kind of divided the country. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you stand politically, you're either on one side of this or you're on the other side. Also, culturally, you're going to be on one side or the other side. And that is the Carmelo Anthony story and the Austin Metcalf story. You heard about this, young Glizzy?
No.
You don't know about it. All right, so basically, there's a kid named Carmelo Anthony who went to a track meet, you know what I'm saying? And he was sitting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was sitting in the other team, allegedly, roof, you know what I'm saying, to get away from the rain. And this kid, Austin Metcalf, asked him to leave, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't having it. He was saying he ain't going nowhere. Then Austin Metcalf, like, got up in his face, you know what I'm saying, told him to leave. And he was like, yo, touch me, see what happens. Allegedly, Austin Metcalf grabbed the kid's backpack. They struggle for the backpack. Carmelo Anthony pulls out a knife, stabs him in the heart. Kid dies, you know what I'm saying? The kid dies in his twin brother's arms, and police come. Carmelo Anthony admits to it, but says it was self-defense. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, there was still a lot of details coming out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big proponent of self-defense. You know what I mean? If you feel like your life is in danger and you can't, you know, and you stand your ground, then I understand. You know what I mean? But I don't want to comment so much because there's a video coming out of the incident, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth making my ideas without knowing all the facts already. You know what I mean? I went to high school. You know what I mean? I got into a lot of fights. I got jumped. Did I pull out a knife and kill somebody over it? Nah, I just kind of took a beating. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, I ate a couple of Timberlands, got stomped out a couple of times, did some stomping myself, and that was it. So at first he got charged with, I believe he got charged with murder, and he had a $1 million bond. Then the judge started getting death threats. You know what I mean? So now the FBI is protecting her, and they're investigating the death threats. And then yesterday they released him. She cut down his bond from $1 million to $250,000, which comes out to $25,000 in cash if you want to get out. Now the family of Carmelo Anthony has raised over $400,000 in like GoFundMe money and other kind of fundraising money. You know what I mean? So, you know, people are getting behind him, and I just want to wait till the video comes out to say whether he was right and wrong. You know what I mean? Like, was he getting jumped or was he not getting jumped, right? Some people say he was getting jumped. Some people say he wasn't getting jumped. When is it right to use lethal force against unarmed people? You know what I mean? Like, do you let people stomp on your head, or do you use lethal force? I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people get punched in the jaw, fall down, hit their head on the floor, and die. Like, that happens. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing. You know what I mean? So if it went down exactly the way the police report says it went down, then I think Carmelo Anthony's not going to beat this case. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be a lot of political pressure. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. But if it comes out, you know, from some witness testimony, from the video that's going to drop soon, we're going to see what happens. And I'll leave my judgment until that. You know what I mean? If Carmelo Anthony was surrounded, about to get stomped out by a bunch of kids, and he did that, he's going to have to get judged by his peers. Hopefully everything works out for him. As far as the Metcalf family, I feel terrible for them. You know what I'm saying? If it went down the way the police report says it went down, I mean, either way, it's a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? But if it went down the way the police report says it went down, then, you know, Austin Metcalf might have had some fault in that situation. You know what I mean? And one more thing, we're going to end it up with geoengineering bill gets denied in Florida. So apparently some damn politicians want to spray liquid in the air that blocks the UV rays, and it's basically going to make Florida 70 degrees all year round.
Because the sun is too hot, bro.
Which in theory sounds kind of cool, right? But are these chemicals like bad for us, dude? Am I going to get a third dick? I mean, a second dick coming out here? Am I gonna get 3 balls? Like what's up with that, bro?
I don't know.
I'm glad it got denied, bro. You know what I'm saying? I deal with enough between Splenda, exhaust fumes, you know what I'm saying? All the other things that fuck us up all day, all night, all the poisons they put in our food, everything. I don't need some mysterious things getting sprayed in the sky to keep me cooler, dude. I think air conditioning is just fine. You know what I mean? But I hope you guys enjoyed the little show. How far did we go? We went 20 minutes. Thank you guys. If you guys made it to the end, we appreciate you. If you like this format, you know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe. And now we're going to shoot our party. Ready, guys? Let's go.